Hi, this is Kim at Recherche Calves, and this is Kiwi's final video. So the first thing I'm going to do is scan her for her microchip. Well, hold on. Okay, it's okay. Place. Place. So this number is in her puppy pack when you get her, and it'll have information on how to either use the website or the phone number to register it. And you want to do that as fast as possible in case she ever gets lost. Somebody can find her information and call you with it. And then the other thing I'm going to show you is when you do get ready to do training with her, we use chicken hot dogs. We cut them long ways and then we cut them across so they're quartered. You want to make sure you use something soft and chewy and small because she doesn't have a very big mouth. So it needs to be small. It needs to be chewy because if it's hard, she's going to spend her time chewing on it and then looking for crumbs. And if it's stinky, she'll follow it. Good girl. You're a hot dog. Good girl. Make sure you read all the emails that you get, especially the potty training emails, but sometimes it looks like there's one topic in an email and then the bottom it'll change to one or two more, so make sure you read the emails all the way through, but especially the potty training emails. Kiwi does really good here. We want to try to make sure it follows to your house. Do expect her to do a little worse at your house than what she's doing here because it's a new environment and she doesn't know where everything is. So make sure you always take her out the same door to go potty so that way she learns which door she needs to go to signal. And when you take her outside to go potty, if you give her a little 5x5 spot, that if you keep taking her that same spot, she'll know that's her spot to go potty. If you give her the whole yard to go potty, she's going to be busy smelling the grass, smelling the mulch, smelling the flowers, smelling anything that she can find, and she'll forget why she's out there and it'll take longer. So if you take her to the same spot every time, it'll go faster. And take her out the same door each time. Now the other thing we ask you to do is to give her the first 3 to 5 days before you really overwhelm her with people. Kiwi is actually very good. She's very confident and she's great around people, but this is going to be stressful for her. She's going to go to a new environment where she doesn't know anybody. She doesn't know the environment. She doesn't know the sights, sounds, and smells of the house. So we ask you on the first 3 to 5 days, try to keep it to just the minimum of the people who live in her house or that she's going to see every day for those first 3 to 5 days. She needs to get used to everybody. She needs to start building a bond with you. And then she also needs to get used to her environment. And then we also say in the first 10 to 14 days, don't do any real strict obedience. Now, we have exceptions to that. The first one is off if she jumps. Do not let Kiwi jump from day one. She gets a little excited. And she she's going to love you when she bonds with you. She's going to want to be with you. She loves people. So if she jumps, you tell her off, you give her 2 seconds. If she does not off and the leash is on her, then you're going to do 2 pops down and to the side. If she does not have the leash on, then you can walk into her space, which it just makes her walk backwards. They don't like that. You can just take your leg and push her off with your knee, or you can turn your body and she'll slide off. Do not use your hands. If you use your hands to push her off, that is a positive. That is positive reinforcement. That's what she wants. It's also a game, so do not use your hands. Use your legs or your elbows or just use your body to push her off. But do not let her jump from day one. The other thing you do need to do is you can have her sit for everything. So if she comes up and wants you to pet her, make her sit first, then pet her. If she wants a treat, she has to sit first, then you pet her. If she wants food, she has to sit first. When you get ready to take her outside for a walk or to go potty, you get to as long as it's not an emergency for potty, then when you get to the door, you make her sit, you go through the door first, then you tell her okay and she comes through. Same thing going back in, you make her sit first, you go through first, and then you tell her okay. If you make her sit for everything, including getting attention, getting love and petting, then she's going to have manners. So you'll see when we do obedience, she has to sit before I give her any treats, which I'm not going to give her a whole lot. She doesn't need any with me. But just make sure that you have her sit for everything so she won't be jumping. Now, whenever you do start doing obedience with her, you may not have to wait a full 10 to 15 days just because it's Kiwi, and Kiwi's pretty confident. But just watch her. If she's happy, she's playing, she's going around the house, she's not scared, then you can start doing training with her. If she is just staying in one spot, she's not really playing with stuff, she's not going around and investigating her surroundings, then she needs more time. So just go off her body language. If she's always happy and playing and checking everything out, then you can move forward and do training. Let's see what we want to do next, Kiwi. Okay. I know I got to get this off all that fur you got. Place. So you're going to get a leash in the puppy pack. It's going to look like this. It may be a different color. It's going to have a metal ring on one side, a handle on the other. You take the handle, you just slide it through the metal ring. It makes the leash. You slide it over her head. It should be right up behind her ears, right up under her chin. I know, sweetie, high up on her neck. It should be right up high on her neck. If it's down low, it's not going to work. She is used to this leash. I will show you the leash corrections as we go through training. It's one of the 3 transfer tools. We have the voice, we have hand signal, and leash. So make sure when you do start doing training with her and when you take her for a walk, it's on this leash. This is the leash she understands. I'm going to lay it right there. Since we are already on place, I'm going to let her do place. Now, Kiwi is pretty good. Again, when you start doing training, you need to build a bond with her. That's the reason we tell you to wait 10 to 14 days. So you need to build a bond with her. Generally, that does not take long with Kiwi. She loves everybody. But when you start doing it, you just need to go a step or 2 away and come back. That's a good girl. And you need to also start with treats. I'm not going to use a whole lot of treats with her. Again, we have a bond already. But when you start doing obedience, you need to use treats for everything across the board. You need to start everything you do. And every time you do something, you need to have a treat. So go 2 steps away, come back, give her a treat, tell her good girl, place. And after you can do 1 or 2 steps away from her, and you can do that 100% for a couple days in a row, then you can go further away from her. Good girl. So you can step further away. Good girl. Good girl. Place. Now, if you put her on place, which on place she can stand up, turn around, play with toys, she just can't come off until she's told. You need to have the place somewhere you can watch her. And it needs to be close to you. Like I've said already, Kiwi loves people. She does not want to be away from you. So if you put her at the other end of the house, she's not going to stay on it. Also, if you're cooking and you can't watch her to see if she's coming off of it, then don't put her on the cot. If you're doing anything where you can't watch her, put her in the crate. That's a good girl. So make sure you can correct her if she starts to come off. Now, we use a negative verbal marker. Mine is normally or It's whatever noise normally comes out of you. Make sure it's firm and crisp. Good girl. And if you start to see her move, if you give it to her, usually she'll stop herself. If she's already done it, still give it to her. If she comes off, you give her take her back up there. You can give her 2 little pops on the leash and re-give the place command. Now, she is pretty good with a lot of distractions, aren't you, babe girl? See, I am so good. Yes, I am. Now, her release, out of a stay, out of the kennel, or off the cot is all the same word. Okay. Good. And she has to sit first. Good girl. Wait till I tell you. Okay. You got a little wet chin. You've been drinking water. So let's go means she needs to walk on my left side. Kiwi is usually very good with this. And I usually, I give her a little more than half the leash is where my hand holds it. Don't get in front of me. You want to hold it short enough so that if you need to give her a pop like that, you can give her a pop. But you don't have to move your whole arm. You just move your hand like I just did. Good girl. You need to have it short enough to do that, but you need the leash long enough so that there's slack in it. You don't want to always have your hand like this. If you're pulling on her all the time, that makes her feel tense. And she can feel your tension through the leash, and that makes leash reactivity. So that's why you want to have slack in your leash, but short enough to correct her if you need to. Good girl. Now, whenever you stop walking, she should auto sit. Good girl. If she starts getting in a hurry, she's pulling off to a side or walking in front of you, you've already seen the first correction. That was a pop. The other thing you can do is stop walking every couple steps. And that gets her attention back on you. Good girl. Good girl. Or the other thing you can do is if she walks off to the side or in front of you, you just real quick go in the opposite direction that she's pulling and then turn back in the original direction. If you keep changing directions, she has no idea which way you're going, and she has to pay attention to you. And she actually wonders what you're doing, because that's normally not what we do here. No, it's not. You're being such a good girl. You're being such a good girl. Let's see how you do off a leash. Good girl. So once you bond with her, you can start practice walking with her like this on the leash. Let's go. Kiwi. Good. 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 Good girl. So she does really good walking. She wants to stay with you. Again, when you build a bond with her, she wants to be with you. That's why she does not like to be by herself, or she's not going to want to be at the other end of the house from you. Good girl. Stay. So stay is flat palm towards your nose, which she's already in a sit, but I'll show you the hand signal for that in just a minute. Kiwi, come. Good. Good girl. Let's go. They're fixing lunch downstairs, so I will keep her on this side instead of close to the stairs where she can go down. Sit. So sit. You just pull your hand up like you have treats. Again, stay. Now, back up. Come on. Kiwi, we're not taking a break. Come on, Kiwi, sit up. Good. We're doing sit. Stay. We're doing sit. Stay. So if she does not sit when you tell her to, or when you stop walking, if she does not auto sit, the correction is just 2 pops straight up and over her head. It's just pop and release. Stay. If she gets up out of a stay, you give her take her back where she was. You give her the sit correction, the 2 pops up and over her head, and then re-give the stay command. Good girl. Good girl. Down is point to the ground. Stay. Now, if she does not down when you tell her, the down correction is just pops down and to the side. Good girl. And again, Kiwi's really good with distractions, and she is good with distance. She can go a long way. Kiwi, come. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So we'll do it without hand signals this time. We'll just do voice. Sit. Stay. Now when you start doing training, she's not going to know your voice and your body language. So when you start training, again, you need to have treats, and you need to always use your voice and hand signals together. And then once you're getting them 100%, then you can start doing them one at a time. Don't you crawl forward. Down. Good. Stay. Kiwi, come. Good. Now, she always gets treats for come. Good girl. Because that's the one command you want to always work. It could save her life. If she starts to run into traffic, you want to be able to say, Kiwi, come, and have her come. So when you practice come, you always have treats. I don't care if she's 2 years old, 6 years old, or 12 years old. Always have treats if you say, Kiwi, come. If you do not have treats and you need her to come, then you can whistle, you can make noises with you can clap your hands, clap your thighs, run backwards, whatever you need to do to get her attention and get her to follow you. But do not say, Kiwi, come, unless you have treats. If you have this leash on her, Kiwi, come. Good. And this is how you practice to begin with. Kiwi, come. Good. If she doesn't come, you have the leash on her to use the leash to pull her towards you. Then after you've got that down 100% for a few days, you can go to a longer leash. Then you can go to a long line, like a 10 foot, 15, 25, 30, however long you want to go. And then you practice it with the long line on her. You always practice with the leash on her so that if she does not come, you can pull her towards you or whoever's calling her. You can make a game out of it. You can have stuff on the floor. You can have toys. You can have treats. Have her interested in it. Then say, Kiwi, come. Have her come to you. You give her lots of love and attention. You tell her, good girl. Give her hot dogs. Then you say, okay, let her go back to what she was doing. Then after a couple seconds, Kiwi, come. She comes back to you. She gets her treat. She gets lots of love. Then you say, okay, let her go back to what she was doing. Once you practice it in the house, then you can start practicing outside. Again, with the leash owner, so that if something else is more distracting or more interesting than you are, you can always pull her towards you. And again, always have treats. You can also make a game of it with different people, with multiple people. You can take turns saying, Kiwi, come. Then she comes to that person. They give her treats, attention, then you quit petting her, and then the next person calls her. Just do it over and over again. And again, if she doesn't go to the person that's calling her, whoever has her on the leash just pulls her in the direction of whoever's calling. Good girl. Good girl. Generally, Kiwi is very good at coming. Like I said, she loves people. So if you call her, generally she comes. So if you practice it and make it fun, she'll always want to do it, and she'll want to come to you. Now, if you don't practice and you just say, Kiwi, come, and then you take her and put her in her crate, take her and put her on her place, or take her away from whatever she's doing that's fun, and you don't let her go back to it, she's not going to want to come. So that's why we tell you to practice it. Again, start in the house, then move to your yard, and then you can move to other places. She needs time to get used to your house and your yard first before you start taking her everywhere else. Okay? Kennel? Good girl. So Kiwi is very good at going in her kennel. You probably won't have any problem, but in case you do, you may want to practice it when you get her home. It's going to be a new kennel in a new environment. This kennel is too big for Kiwi. She only needs enough room to stand up, turn around, lay down. So you can have hot dogs, and you can lure her in, or you can throw the hot dogs just in the kennel and say kennel, and she can go in. You say okay and let her out. And you just practice going in and out, or you can just every now and then through the day throw some hot dogs in the kennel and let her surprise find them. She won't know they're in there till she just happens to walk in. Yeah. Now, if Kiwi is a little nervous at your house for the first week or two, and she cries at night when you put her in the kennel, again, the kennel probably is like the cot. It needs to be near you so she knows where you are, and it needs to be with somebody that knows the difference when we're just crying when we go